You're listening to Mind Over Money, presented by Waymaker. Welcome to Mind Over Money, where we help Australians change their money mindsets so they can live a life of freedom, generosity and joy. I'm Lachy, and as always, I'm joined by Archie. G'day, Archie.
Yeah, Lachlan.
And we're in the same room together.
We are. Yeah.
It's good. And today we're going to be talking about financial freedom. I think it's something that people misunderstand because it's talked about a lot, but perhaps we've lost the context around it and lots of different assumptions and ideas around what financial freedom actually is. What does financial freedom mean to you, Archie?
You're going to ask me. Well, I'm better off saying what I hear people say to me, what they think financial freedom is.
Yeah, and you would hear a lot of different things.
Yeah. So some people think it's, financial freedom is being able to take a holiday.
Or live at the beach all day.
Or be able to pay their bills on time. Or it's, being able to maybe even buy a house. But they can be quite specific with me when I ask them, what does financial freedom mean to you? And the key that I keep picking up is people keep talking about things. And, it's about a thing rather than who we are. And so I think that's what we can talk about today with financial freedom. It's more about who we are.
Yeah. We were talking before, an example of this, I think this fits really well. You were talking about Dick Smith.
Yep.
Aussie icon, the man, the legend himself.
Yeah.
Now,
if you're old enough to know.
You're old enough. I remember some of his, some things about him, and Dad would tell me a lot about him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, for Dick Smith, he got to a point where people started to really pick on his wealth and saying, you can do this because you have this wealth. And he pointed out, no, I can do this without the wealth. And so he deliberately gave away his wealth and said, I can do all this again. And he did.
Yeah.
So he was showing people that you're not locked into your circumstances unless you think you are.
He was a bit of a larrikin. He would get out on TV and...
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
He'd do Richard Branson style stunts for publicity.
Yep. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, I think for Dick, he definitely was an Aussie larrikin. And if you can connect with people, you can, from a business point of view, then you'll get more business. And that's what he was after. He was out to create business and build a business and not pay for advertising.
Yeah.
So he paid for the advertising by doing stunts and doing things that got people's attention. And then the media would interview him and, ask him what he was doing it for. And he would say, I'm doing it to get more customers. But because he built trust with people, with the way he was, then people trusted him and actually, would use his products and his services and, go to his businesses. So, and that's what he was looking for. And that's what he was pretty much saying was that, if we really take notice of our situation, then, we don't have to be locked in to our thinking and the way we are.
Yeah.
We can be free of that.
Yeah. I was going to say, so how do we bring this back into financial freedom?
Yeah.
Because I'm just thinking about Dick Smith now. So, he gave away his wealth.
Yep.
And built it back again.
Yep.
And I guess that was showing the lesson there is that it's not so much about, we think about financial freedom, we think of the financial number. It's about the freedom and the ability to be okay with change and to keep moving forward no matter what.
Yeah, he was pointing out the need to change.
Yeah.
And that was a big part of what he was pointing out with people. And the thing with Dick was, his wealth wasn't dependent on, having security in money. That's the other thing he was pointing out. His security wasn't in money. His security, was to be free.
Yeah.
I have this quote, which is, we don't know what we don't know. And it's what we don't know that'll get us in trouble. And so usually when someone says to me that, they've had a financial failure, it's because of what they didn't know. and they stepped into something that they, there was no way for them to know, and they stepped out and tried something and it didn't work, and and so because they didn't know what they didn't know, that's what got them in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so how are we able to continue to move forward then?
Well, I'll use another analogy of farmers. So, if we look at farming is like time and seasons. And for a farmer, they can often not know what's going to be around the corner. So they don't know what the season's going to be like. They don't know what the prices are going to be like. So, they're totally at the mercy of what's going on around them. And, so they can plant a crop and they could have a really good season, fantastic season, end up taking in a really great harvest, but then find the price is gone. There's no price, and then they make no profit. And then the next year, they could find that they have an average season and they have a good harvest. The harvest isn't taken away from them. Sometimes you can get bad weather that'll take the harvest before you actually get to take the harvest. So they get the harvest off, and then the price is good, and they end up making a really good profit. So what some farmers learnt was that they needed to start to control their environment so they could do well more often than not. So farmers started employing other people to help them to actually achieve that. So instead of just planting and hoping for the best, some farmers started using, expert advice and expertise from other people to change the way they were farming, to change what they were doing.
And there's all this technology now that we can tap into to make sure that crop and the yield is the maximum it can be.
Yeah, well, it's also about setting the price. So using the futures market to actually set the price that you're going to receive for the crop. But then you've got to make sure the crop happens. So then you've got to make sure that you're doing everything to get that crop in, because you've already set the price that you're going to get paid in the future when you get that crop. And so farmers have employed all sorts of methods to make sure that they get their crop. So, it's from netting fruit trees to prevent hail from damaging the crop, to right through to glass houses, that are growing specialty crops that are high returns, high profitability. So farmers have learnt some farmers have learnt to do that. Other farmers still rely on hoping for the best. And it's the same for us. It's like for financial freedom, we can start to influence and bring change by bringing in expertise and bringing in help.
Yeah, I love that.
So, and because change is going to occur, so we don't know what's around the corner. Things are going to change. Jobs will change. Our family circumstances will change. COVID, brought massive change. Especially if you live in a city, a big city.
Or you run a cafe in Melbourne.
Yep.
And you set up this new cafe and then boom, you're closed for the whole year.
So if we just keep on doing the same old, we're going to get the same results. So we need some way of changing. And for most of us, we hate learning. So and trying to learn what we don't know is pretty much impossible.
Tearing your teeth out.
So we're better off getting someone who's got the expertise and someone that can really help us and help us to change. And that's where I find financial freedom. So even for Trish and I, we have our own financial advisor, because even though I'm a financial advisor, I want to have someone there that's helping me change.
And same, as a business coach, I also have a business coach. And I was actually talking to another coach the other day, and he said his niche is transition coaching. So he'll help people that may have come out of the military transition into a corporate career. And so everything's changing. And I thought, transition coaching, that is brilliant. That's what we do at Waymaker, because we're helping people transition through seasons and help them achieve that financial freedom now and today. Because the financial freedom is knowing that we have the freedom to change and to be able to change. So we're putting in practical things like the financial system, helping them have a cash flow system to be able to work practically with changes to their income and be able to allocate money to different things in different seasons. But it's also that the mindsets
Yeah.
That realizing, like we talked about before,
Yeah.
There's the financial freedom. We think of the financial figure, but there's also, it's really more about like what Dick Smith was saying.
Yeah.
It's that ability to know that we can actually adopt and move with change, and we're okay.
Yeah.
And we can enjoy life. We're not racing to get this, $1 million or whatever it is, that target, and to, to be sitting on a beach by the time we're 30, because we're going to just somehow strike it lucky and we're never going to have to work again. I mean, for me, I see it as being ready and prepared for opportunities, to be able to fulfill our calling, for myself and my family. And so I can experience financial freedom today in what we're doing, because we know that we're ready for that next opportunity.
Yep.
And because we're doing that work now and we're preparing ourselves, but we're also living in it. And so the success is today. We're not waiting for a destination. We're already there in a sense.
Yeah.
But we've got that long-term plan, and we're also moving towards those milestones as well in the future.
Yeah, we need a bit of a catalyst, something that will create change. And we read books, we listen to podcasts. They're not really catalysts. They're more information
and inspiration. Yeah.
And inspiration.
And it can be a bit motivating, but after a couple of days,
but it doesn't create change though.
Yeah.
And we've got to be able to change, because our circumstances are going to change, the world's going to change, and it already is changing. And so, having that catalyst that really helps us to change, and we need, the expertise part, because, if you just get someone off the street to do your taxes, come and do my tax for me, and then how confident are you going to
be? We're so stuffed.
Well, we get an accountant to do the tax, because we relying on their expertise to do the tax for us and to get the tax right. Surgery, another classic that we've talked about before. We can certainly look up Google and check out what our condition might be, but eventually to actually get an operation done or some sort of change that needs to happen for our health, we do have to employ an expert to create that change, and that's a big part of financial freedom, is getting that expertise that's going to really help us to change.
So getting help with what we don't know. Because there's a limit.
So we're getting back to, we don't know what we don't know. So, and therefore we can't change anything if we don't know what we need to change. And if we don't know how to change, and so we can read good books, but then you got to be able to implement it. You got to be able to change, and that's often where it doesn't happen. That's often where we get stuck. For years I read books on property investing, but couldn't do it, because I didn't have the ability, expertise, support. And so, I went to someone I thought was an expert in the area, and they let me down big time because they weren't an expert. So, it's really important to find out who's the expert, who's the person with the knowledge, the understanding, the ability to bring that change.
Yeah, and that's why we need relationships, because that's where we get our confidence from. It's not just that they're providing a service or support or some kind of product. It's the connection and the relationship that gives us the confidence to move forward.
I've had so many clients over the years, when we're looking at their finances initially, and I find they haven't done their taxes. And they mightn't have done them for 5 or 10 years. And they're afraid that they're going to be in big trouble. And that's when I say to them, look, get an accountant, because the accountant will help you through with the tax office to get it all sorted, and they can actually help you to make sure that that you minimize any fines or any problems, because they're there to help get it done. And every time they do it and get it done, you see this big smile on their face, and they're going, "That's the best thing I ever did." Because they got the help that they needed to actually get past that problem, and because they didn't know how to fix it. They didn't know what to do. They didn't know what they were looking at. They were afraid of the tax office. And that's a classic example, that one. And, when they get in and get it done, it's fantastic, because that's a whole big load off their shoulders. And then we can get on and move on with, doing other things with their finances.
Yeah, I think what you just said there, we're afraid of whatever we don't know. And so there's all these great things out there, like the first home super saver scheme to get into a home. But it's complex. So without that connection, that relationship, well, you can read the government website, but that's no help. Or superannuation, or just investing in general.
Yes.
Strategies to pay off the home. All of these things, really good things. They're tools that we can use to build financial freedom now, today, and for the future.
Yeah.
But that missing gap, and I think this is where it trips a lot of Australians up from achieving that financial freedom, is the lack of a connection and advice, and a connection to someone to help them with their finances. It's that I can do it myself mentality. You can read books and stuff and be inspired, but what's really happening is the actual change being taken place. Are things being implemented, and how do you know you're on the right track in that sense? And so bringing in other people can bring in that confidence as well, and just to know that you're on the right path. And you can have that joy that, wow, we're achieving financial freedom today.
And look, when things don't go well, and that happens, like things can change dramatically. We can lose a job, or
a business,
or a business, or that, and suddenly we're going through 12 months of no income, or one of our incomes is down, and we can really get down on ourselves. And often, when I see that, I just go, hey, look, it's been and done. Let's forget about it.
Yeah, what's ahead?
And
all these opportunities in front of you.
You can't control what happened there. But let's get on and change what we can control. And as soon as we start changing what we can control, we get that joy back. We get that freedom back. And it's amazing. And I can see people change right in front of my eyes as soon as you're able to help them through that. And transition out of that, woe was me, I stuffed up, or, why did this happen to me? And you get past that and you move into, well, let's start doing something. And let's get some change happening here. And then all of a sudden the joy's back and the freedom is back.
Because we start seeing all the opportunities around us. Because when we're under fear, we don't have that confidence. We're like locked into the problem. Now, when we have that connection and that confidence, we can see, wow, this actually we can reframe it. This could be the best moment of my life. Something, could begin here that starts a new chapter. So that ability to have confidence to be flexible and change.
The worst thing we can think is that we're stuck. And, when we're talking couples, where there's no third party coming in to help, one person can feel it's their fault, or one person could be blaming the other person, and you can feel really, really stuck. And the thing with what we do is we help people get unstuck. We help people get through and past whatever's holding them back, and start to see that movement forward again. And that change. And that sense of control, because it does give you a sense of control,
agency over your life.
That's your freedom. That's when you really start feeling free. And and look, we're people, we're emotional, and when the emotions get us down, which they will, it's good to have someone there that we can call on and say, hey, this is what's going on at the moment, can you help? And then you can get refocused again and get going again. And especially when you think about suddenly having children, and you might be down a wage for a while, it's really good to know that someone's there with you going, it's okay. You'll get through this. It's just really good to have that support, that, that people have been, helped other people. There's that expertise coming back through again, and that support to say, look, you'll get through this. Keep going. You'll be out the other side before you know it.
It's so good. Look, if you're listening to this and you think, yep, that's me, reach out at waymakerfinance.com or waymakerpodcast.com.au. Send us a message, because we have advocates that want to stand with you and help you change and go through change in every season to experience that financial freedom. Hi, just a disclaimer here that everything we discuss today is not personal financial advice. It's just a conversation and for education purposes only. If you would like personal financial advice that's tailored to your situation, you should talk to a financial advisor. And we can recommend one if you like. Just head over to waymakerfinance.com, or you can go to our new website for the podcast, waymakerpodcast.com.au, and send us a message.
Yeah, the last thing I was going to hit on was about our fear of paying fees. I see this over and over again. Is that I'll have people talking to me about finances and what they're wanting to achieve, and they're getting quite excited. And you're going, oh yeah, okay. So they want to change. There's there's that desire to move forward, and then they'll ask about fees and that, and you can all see an immediate reaction change of, we haven't even talked about fees, but they've started thinking about fees and they immediately pull back. So there's that fear of, I'm going to pay fees, but I could probably do this myself. See, that's often what I'll see is this transition to, I can do this myself. I can save all these fees, and then I can do more. And I've seen that over and over, and it's one of your roadblocks. So it's one of those things that we have to move past. And someone that's always fixing their own car. Which used to be me. When I was young, I always fixed my own car.
You can make your own clothes.
Yep, we did all that. Yeah, and then the first time I took the car to a mechanic and got a good mechanic, and he picked out what was wrong with the car and he fixed it, and I was just like, why did I wait so long? Why did I try and fix this thing myself all the time and spend all this money and time and effort trying to fix what I didn't know? And, I realized how much time I wasted and how much frustration I went through because I didn't know how to fix the car.
Yeah.
And I tried and tried. I definitely didn't have Google back then.
And we don't know what we don't
know. Or YouTube.
Know. So, yeah, but you can read all the books and podcasts, but it still doesn't get past the fact that we need that third-party relationship to give us that confidence, to guide us, to bring that outside perspective and insight and experience to our situation and help us move forward.
Yep. And look, in today's society, we're paying... we could be paying $50,000 to go to university, to then come out and have to be retrained to work in the workforce.
Yeah.
and so, so we are paying, we're always paying for things. We pay in our failures. We pay by missing out, on opportunities. Yeah. We're always paying. So the thing to overcome is it's okay to pay fees. Yeah. It's okay to pay for an expert to help you. It's okay to pay for an accountant. We don't always have to receive a monetary reward straight away. Yeah. It's good to have the relationships and the support and, enjoy life and get that freedom, because that's the key.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of these different apps and services you see are like fee-free, no fees.
Yes. Yeah.
You just think there's no such thing as a free lunch. You're paying for this some way.
Yes. Yeah. And it's the same with, what we think is research. Google is really a sales tool, or any of the search engines. They're really sales tools. Real research happens in universities, research places, and, to get hold of that research, you've got to pay money, and quite often big money, to get hold of that research. But then you've got to be able to read that research and understand that research and apply that research. So this is where we need experts. This is where we need support, because that's the sort of stuff that we're not going to do.
Yeah. And speaking of research, we've got to pull Lucas in next time.
Yeah.
So if anyone's keen on some chats about quantitative easing and portfolio research, which I know we're all jumping out of bed right now to listen to that episode, we'll pull Lucas in a couple of weeks and have a chat about investing and how to approach investing.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, this is a fantastic chat. It was great to be together in the room, just talking to the mic. And we hope, listeners, that you found that helpful to really rethink financial freedom. Yeah. It's all about the ability to be ready and okay to change and to have joy along the way, knowing that you're okay. Yeah. And it's powerful.
Yep. Cool. Thanks, Lachlan. It's been awesome.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next time.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
See ya.